Today, we come together to remember the countless victims of genocide in the past and present, from the Holocaust to the Rwanda, from the Rohingyas to the Palestine. Humanity has witnessed unimaginable suffering inflicted by the hatred, prejudice, and unchecked and controlled power.
The German Nazis first oppressed Jews in Germany by isolating them, excluding them from most public employment, making them wear a yellow star. And later, when they had captured most of the countries of mainland Europe, they crowded Jews into ghettos on starvation rations and finally sent them to death camps, where they were murdered immediately in gas chambers, or concentration camps, where some could work, but those deemed unfit would immediately be gassed. It is a story of significant events, and its impact is still evident today. Genocide does not only affect those intimately involved in the event, but those who belong to the groups chosen for destruction. The ghost of experiences haunts the victims all their lives. Some adjust, but always the nightmare remains and passes down through the generation. Each genocide is different, but the elements remain the same. Identify a group deserving of isolation, a group to be feared, a group mostly without power, and begin the process of softening up before destruction. Then target them with vile words, call them rats, as the Germans did about the Jews, or animals, as Yoav Gallant did about the people of Gaza, and then they are fair game. Genocide is not only killing and causing suffering on members of the group, but is also deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about the physical destruction in whole or in part. This is what happened to the Jews of Europe. The starvation was epic, causing disease and death even before the journeys to the gas chambers. And it has happened in Gaza, where not only has starvation been used as a weapon, but every aspect that makes life possible, from structures like hospitals and schools to agricultural land, have been destroyed. So we see today that too many of the same group who were once victims of genocide are now perpetrators of the same crime. We ask ourselves why. And after the war, in keeping with the idea that this must never happen to Jews again, the State of Israel was established with the blessing of the Western world. It became, sadly, a belligerent colonial entity that saw the indigenous people not only as inferior, but as an enemy whose land they coveted. And now the stain of genocide will leave an indelible mark on the country, the people, and on those who supported and gave cover to this, the greatest crime of our age. But we Jews have lived among nations for most of our history, and those who recognize our responsibility to the other say never again for anyone. Never again for anyone. This is the only message we can take from the horrors of the past. It is a tough message, but if we want to live in a world of hope and not despair, of joy and not of sorrow, of life and not of death, it is the lesson we must absorb. The lesson of the Jewish genocide, the Jewish Holocaust, is never again for anyone. We are all children of this earth and protectors of it, and of each other, in order that life on earth can continue. If one falls, the other lifts them up. If one suffers, the other tries to heal. Ultimately, the legacy of Jews must be found in our words, Tikkun Olam, which means the healing of the world. We cannot be the children of darkness, because therein lies destruction. And those of us here will continue to struggle, because the lesson of our sages is that life for everyone is precious, and if we cannot see the humanity in others, we are bereft of that very same humanity. Thank you, guys.